So I wanted to take some time to break down the Essay 3 assignment sheet for you because it's kind of complicated and it's probably one of the most important essays you'll write this summer because it's most like what you'll be doing in the rest of your college career. Very rarely will you be asked to write things like personal narratives or things like that. Most often you'll be writing multi-source research essays that are typically opinion-based, backed up by evidence. So what I mean by that is you'll be writing argumentatively, usually, depending upon your field, rather than informatively. And that's what we're going to practice here. So you can see up top the important due dates. We've got the detailed outline, the rough draft, peer reviews, and of course the final draft. So you actually get 10 whole days to work on this assignment, which I know isn't all that much, but remember again, this is a summer class, so things are accelerated. I have given you the most time to work on this essay because it's the most complicated. So you'll be using the same topic that you identified in your Essay 2 topic proposal, unless you have had a change of heart, or after reading my comments, you decided that perhaps your problem and solution weren't argumentative enough, or that you needed to revise them in some way to fit the requirements of the assignment. So first and foremost, I've gone into some detail here about what good college writing asks you to do, and these are the skills that we're going to practice here. So for this essay, you will be required to use at least 8 outside sources, and 5 of these sources have to be published sources from the library database. So you just finished up the library modules, or you're going to finish up the library modules, where Dr. Hallis will talk to you about how to access library materials, and you'll be able to use those skills to find these sources. So do these library sources have to be books? No, of course not. They could be articles from databases, they could be newspapers, they could be videos. As you will learn or have learned, the library website is pretty expansive and has a lot of materials that you can choose from. The reason that we ask you to choose materials from the library databases is that typically information that comes from the library database is a little bit more credible. And that's something too that Dr. Hallis talks about in the library modules. So continuing down, the content of the essay is perhaps the most important thing. Your thesis must be problematic and consists of an assertion about which reasonable people may disagree. So it has to be argument-based, and the problem solution sets you up for that. So you've established a problem within an area, and the solution should be an alternative to solutions that already exist, which makes it argumentative, because people could say, no, that solution is ridiculous, we need to do this. And so I want to be sure that you're not writing a informative essay. I want you to be arguing a point of view and backing that up with evidence from your research. So you will write your persuasive essay using one of the following focuses. So option 1 is a social justice focus. Find a problem or issue related to current events and give your viewpoint and solution to the issue. So this should be an issue that somehow touches you or is important to you in some way. I ask you, please, please, please strongly caution you against writing about things like abortion or marijuana or gun control, simply because so many things have already been said about that it's hard for you to present a new, unique perspective or solution. The fact that marijuana is already being legalized makes it very difficult to present an alternative solution that hasn't already been considered. So yes, those are social justice issues somewhat, and you could write about them. However, I would encourage you to go outside of the box, and I will give you some resources for finding some interesting articles too. So option 1 is social justice. Option 2 is career focused. So maybe you're interested in finding a problem within your career focus and talking about what's being done about that. For example, maybe you're a nurse who's concerned about the future of nursing, what it's going to be like once technology is integrated. That's something that you could address in an essay like that. And then finally, option 3 is fun. You don't always have to write about really heavy, hefty issues in order to write compellingly. Some of the things that we write that are most interesting are things that come from our passions. So maybe you're really into Harry Potter and you think it's a problem that Harry Potter is on the banned books list and that we need to have more Harry Potter in public schools. You could write an essay about that. This is your chance to kind of be creative and be fun and choose something that you find interesting. And I think that it will be interesting to read essays like that as well. So you should provide context, you should explain why people should care, and these are things that we worked on with essay 2, so you should already have some of these ideas down. Of course, you are to do research, basic fact finding, understanding what's already been said about the subject, providing background or context to gain a conceptual understanding about the subject, or to develop a broader view of the subject. All of these things are things that research helps us do, and then ultimately we can support our ideas and claims by doing good research with credible sources. Secondly, assignments. The assignments in this unit are designed to build on each other and help you work towards the larger essay. So if you hand in the essay on the due date and you haven't done any of the assignments, it's going to be very difficult for you to pass the essay because you won't have the knowledge that you need in order to build up to writing a full essay. And then finally, what you're being graded on. So the choice of subject, obviously, does it match the things that you've been asked to write about? Is it focused? Is it at a collegiate level? The thesis, do you have a complex thesis that you can develop and then support? Research, integration of sources, of course, format, using MLA, making sure you're not accidentally plagiarizing, organizing, and editing. And then if you see, you can see a more thorough breakdown of the grading criteria here on the rubric. So basically what you're doing for essay 3 is trying to find a topic that's interesting to you, fits within one of these 3 options, and investigate a problem and propose a solution about that issue using 8 outside sources, with 5 of them coming from the library database, a minimum of 1,800 to 2,000 words. And you have about 10 days to do it. So getting started on this right away is going to be paramount. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know.